Hello and welcome to the Indie News this evening, hosted by the one, the only Chuck, the Indie Darling. How you doing tonight, Chuck?
Dude, I'm doing great. What about yourself?
I am doing sick and hurt and beat up, but I'm alive and somewhat kicking.
That's funny. I'm actually kind of feeling the same way myself. My wife Wendy, for anyone who knows her, she has a little bit of a bug, and I can feel it coming up in my throat. We had to go to this. I wanted to check out this local comic shop today, and it's half comic shop, half Indian cafe. And so we picked up some cool chutney and stuff, and I thought, hey, maybe that spice will help my throat. Nope, not really.
Well, that's right. What of Indian food going well with comic books?
I know, right? It's like you sit down, read a comic book, and you're getting like chutney and sauces and stuff. Like Indian food is very saucy. So yeah, I can't imagine the two of them going in very well.
Well, let's go on to our site. We got some new exciting stuff to talk about, right?
We do, yeah. I'm checking out the front page right now. By the way, guys, for anyone out there, this crawl, the Flash story, is so badass. I mean, seriously, we're like the CNN of fucking indie comics.
So what
no, go ahead.
Go for it, Chuck.
Well, I was going to go through some of the little Flash things first. Like Conceptual Heist Book 1 comes to an end today. What can we do to get you to back the Advocator? Because the Advocator isn't a comic book. It's indie passion coming alive, which we will be talking a lot about tonight. Another page of my OC The Enemy. Not sure what that is. Dog Days is an RPG, which I'm excited about that. I'm also a part of Dog Days. And then just in general, guys, when you come check out the site, those are the big ones. Just come check out those little Flash stories, all sorts of cool stuff. And of course, at the very top, you have all of these handsome ass creators. And I have to say, I freaking love that every time I look there, front and center, there is me and my dude, Mr. Anderson. So that's pretty awesome. You can't pay for that kind of a view. Cool. So let's check out some of the front page stuff. I'm gonna go look and see where you're at. Okay. So first off, we've got the Advocator now on Kickstarter. A rare Mr. Anderson book now available in extremely limited amounts. That's the one where we have a lot of like, are they all physical or are they digital books?
No, this is a throwback to my my original. I think you read it. The first book I ever released was called New York Reporter. It was the newspaper that was turned into a comic book.
Was that like NYR or whatever?
Yep, NYR. Yeah.
So it's been a while, but yeah, I read it.
I only have 3 or 4 copies, physical copies left, besides the couple I gave out to the people at New York Comic Con because of the hurricane. So
yeah, you lost a bunch in the hurricane, right?
I was going to save them for something really special, and I figured the Advocator was that special thing, so I offered them up because I'm serious about this, and of course I donated it to the project, so it's not even like the project has to pay me for it, you know?
Yeah, that's really cool, man.
Yeah, so. And it also gives you what will become the last of the Mentor and Aftermath, as those books are getting renamed now. Yep. So there's a whole future coming.
Yeah, it's a really and that's the thing. A lot of people don't seem to be understanding is that there's a lot of really interesting opportunities for both collectors and creators, because obviously as collectors you've got all these rare books in there, and then also like all sorts of people are throwing their stuff in there. I know I threw Welcome to the Void in there, Broke Down is in there, Niobe is in there. Like there's a lot of really cool stuff from all sorts of spectrums of comicdom. There it is, Niobe right there.
And that's a deal. And Niobe's every backer.
Yeah, and then not only that, but also and that's for collectors, but for creators, we have that amazing package, one of the top tier packages, which is a chance to have your book worked on by myself, Rob, Mr. Anderson, and Travis Gibb. and each one of us would put our all into helping you get your book out there. And I think that's a sadly overlooked tier.
You know, I was thinking about that very thing today, and I was like, people are ridiculous not to take advantage of that. Having the three of us helping people, that's usually your budget for an editor. First
Yeah,
off,
how much is that tier?
150, I'm pretty sure. We'll go straight to the Advocator and check, but I'm pretty sure that tier is only 150, and you could get more for just actually editing a book on its own.
Yeah, I will say my entry prices are right around there for editing. So you know, for someone who's kind of new and helping out,
It's
I'm
250. My apologies.
it's
250.
250.
Still a good deal.
Well, yeah, I mean, you think about it. If I'm right around 150, and then you also get the other two guys on top, like this is a massive discount. I mean, if you think about it, what you do, it cannot, you know, people can't put a price tag on. Already, the number of people that you hit, all the work with indie advocates, all the people that you know, all the stories that you've worked on and stuff. Like, there's no real number on that. And then, of course, Travis, who markets for a living, that is his freaking job. Like, the guy makes his money, his daily bread on that. And so, yeah, for 250, like, in all honesty, for all of that, you're looking at closer to at least $500 to $1,000.
And it's funny too because a lot of people don't realize how many books I've helped as a story editor, because story editors often don't get any credit in books.
Yeah.
You know, you just wind up just being the person who molds the project. And I don't mind that egotistically. But now that we're doing this, and I'm actually thinking, because like people have asked me to actually join, and we've talked about this off camera. People have talked to me about joining like actual publishers as an editor. And at first I was like, I can't edit anything. I'm horrible. And then they explained they didn't want me as a straight editor. They wanted me as a story editor. Now I could be a great story editor.
You absolutely could.
Like that I could do. That's not a problem because I'm a fan before I'm anything else, and I know a good story, and I've helped people make their stories better.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, and I mean, that's the problem is so many people are like, I can't be an editor. I don't know how to proofread. I make spelling mistakes all the time. And I'm like, yeah, that's like the tiniest part of what an editor does. You know, like I can't tell you as an editor how often I'm having my clients message me and just be like, hey, how does this page look? What is that panel like? Like, I mean, there's so much more, you know, what do you think of this decision to do this with this character or this little storyline or whatever? There is so many intricacies to what we do as editors that, yeah, if you walked in and said you wanted to be a story editor, absolutely you could pull that off. And I think that charging is not a bad idea at all.
And now this is what you guys get. Look at all these titles that you guys can get in this supreme $50 offer, which includes free shipping, which includes a physical copy, and it includes all the different covers for all the different books, and all of these books in PDF, and we're still adding. Martha Schwartz is missing. We have like 7 other creators who already want to be part of this. They want to, and the reason, and someone asked me this, do you know why it's great to put your PDFs in other people's Kickstarters, Chuck? I know you do, but I'm just giving you the question.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, it gets you onto totally like new eyes into an audience that otherwise you wouldn't have been able to. And you just, I mean, I've gotten several of those digital packs where you're like, I'm bored, I'm gonna read it, and then you're like, oh shit, I just found my new favorite.
And it's very important that people understand that this is a way to see a new audience. And we told people, you want to put in a preview book, put in a preview book. You know, we don't care. You know, this is just about helping other people in the indie market get their name out there, and it helps us raise funds for something that is. Do you want to explain what the Advocator Presents is, or do you want me to read the little?
No, you know what? I'm gonna do this bad boy Chuck style because this is Chuck's news today. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that, guys. The Advocator is literally what its name says. The Advocator is all about taking independent comic series and creators and showing off these amazing series in 4-page shorts never before seen. So when you pick up the Advocator, it's not like with other It's almost the exact opposite of any other anthology you've ever read before. Because when you get an anthology, it's stories that usually don't connect to anything else. They're one shots. You'll never, attach to them again. And they're there's either a theme or a randomness to it. And this time, what we did was we got, I don't want to say top tier creators because I'm in there, but we got some really good creators with some really good series and stories, and we put them all together with brand new stories showing off their stuff. And what is amazing about this anthology that no one else has ever done is that we have taken greed out of the equation altogether. This is all of the money goes straight to the printer. The printer prints off as many copies as they can with that money and sends them out to the creators so they can then get them into other people's hands, and also sends those books to you guys, the fans. So it's just such a cool idea. Kind of kick myself a little bit for not having it myself, but I'm also kicking those of you who aren't interested or haven't given it serious thought in backing it, because dude, this is really something cool to be a part of, to witness all of it. This is honestly, I believe this is history.
And of course, Chuck won't say it, I'll say it. This is the best that indie has to offer, some of the best creators out there in the indie market right now. And I've read a lot of indie books, so when I say it, I can say it proudly and happily that Travis brought together an amazing group. Of course, we have Chuck, who has the Welcome to the Void. Zero was one side of the coin, here's the other. Travis gives us Everyone Has a First Date, Even Mobsters, and he has the Not Broke Down Yet book, which he used art from the original concept book and has brought it to life in a new way. We have Joseph Duas from the what is it? Orange?
Dr. Orange, and he also has on Kickstarter right now, actually, he has something called Two-Eyed Tales, which is a bunch of his shorts all put into one book. And what's really neat about that is if you back both the Advocator and Two-Eyed Tales, he will send you a special print. So that's a cool thing as well.
Wow, I didn't know that he was actually live already. I thought he was going live this week. I must have misunderstood him when he said.
Oh yeah, he actually went live a couple days ago. He was only asking. He's doing one of the Make 100s. He was only asking for like $700, and I think he's already cleared $1,000. And he's doing quite well. He's just doing a short little 2-weeker.
Oh wow! And Modern Testament, the ancient story of Noah and his ark, gets reimagined for the modern world. Frank Martin's also back on Kickstarter with that Hollow Testament,
which looks badass.
Yes, it does. And you know Connor G. Bartel very well. This is Grimwood Crossings follows monster hunters in the Wild West in the short story. They hunt down the ghost of a witch that has been haunting them into a trail.
I do know Connor very well. He's actually my my wife's boyfriend.
Let's keep it less Jerry Springer, more news. And Binary Star. Now, this is, again, top-tier talent. Jamie PINEAU does it all, and she brings to life the mismatched interstellar heroes of Binary Star dropping in a wild party on a black market planet. But while they're building giant tequila ice luges and getting into territorial bar fights with talking dogs, a psychopathic seductress stalks them from the shadows. Just an amazing, collective group. And honestly, we will be talking about it more. And I'm going to announce it now if it's okay with you. I know it's your news program, but I have some breaking news for everyone.
Go to town.
So now you are against when I said this. So I said that if you don't back the Advocator, you hate indie comics. And you were like, Rob, you really can't say that. And I'm like, sure I can. I was like, give me a reason that I'm wrong. And every time I've asked someone to give me a reason, they just say, well, it sounds rude. Look, I'm not here about people's feelings. This isn't about feelings. This is about passion. This is about helping indie comics rise. And this is everything. And we've talked about this with other creators. We've heard other creators bitch and whine about creators not working together and how anthologies go, right? Am I wrong, or have you heard this too?
No, it's true. And so many people are like, this won't work. Look, you know what? You're right. It won't work if this issue doesn't get out. If this doesn't happen, then yeah, that's fine. But you're helping to make it not help. Get over your apathy, get over your bullshit, and do what you can, whether it's even just, we're all strapped. I get it. Even if it's just sharing it, talking about it, telling people about it, getting it out there. Yeah, there's ways to make it happen. And so if you do nothing, then he's not wrong, guys.
And is some people, and that's my point, is that they're trying to keep down a project because they're jealous it's going to take away from their projects. And I think that's ridiculous. So tomorrow on the Advocator, which will be filming at noon Eastern time, I'm inviting anyone who takes whatever, you'll get offended by the fact that I said that, come onto the show and you tell me why I'm wrong. I'm opening the forum. You guys come get some. I'll be willing to take your comments. I'll take them serious. There'll be no attacking anyone. Anyone know what that do you know what the change my mind videos are?
Well, isn't that a meme as well? The dude just sitting there saying, blah, 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 changed my mind.
He goes to different places with ideas that he knows might offend some people, but he truly believes in it. And he brings in like statistics. Homeboy's ready to go, has all of his information lined up. And he wants to go against people who don't necessarily fully understand it or do understand it. He's very respectful. He gives them a chance to talk. Like, that's what I want. I don't want to pick on anyone. I do. I want people who are, because what really bothers me? This whole idea that some creators turn around and they go, oh, well, I don't really consider myself indie. I'm more of an underground band. What are you talking about? You're underground. What, would you make your comic books when you're underneath dirt?
It's the Mole Man.
Underground? Like, are you doing it in your mom's basement? Like, tell me what underground is so I can understand. Because indie completely explains what you're doing if you're paying for it yourself.
Yeah, you're independent, dude. There really is no difference between underground and indie.
Yeah, so like people just bother me. So tomorrow on the Advocator, you guys can come fight me. Because that's the new thing online, right? Fight me. Do you know how many people I'm going to run up to this year when I see them because they've said online, fight me? So I'm going to run up to them and be like, I don't think Banana's blowing on pizza.
I don't think Banana should be on pizza either. I agree.
Now, before we get back into the news, because we're like hijacking it for the Advocator, which I don't care. I'm happy to do. We do have comments. So I wanted to say that Max
Battle of Stella.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to say, I ain't getting that last name. He said, hey, Chuck, agreed. Welcome to the Void was a really good story, and that kind of knowledge is transferable to other. And he asks, is this an anthology or a compendium? Compendium? I don't even know. What's a compendium?
A compendium is usually a compendium is something that has like a lot of like descriptors and all that kind of stuff. This is an anthology. It's a bunch of different stories never before seen. A compendium is like, when you get like the Monsters Manual for D&D and that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I don't do D&D. That's why I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's definitely not a compendium of any sort. These are all stories. They're all brand new. He actually just he's dropping a review of Welcome to the Void, both the 0 and the 0.5. I gave him that one as well to check out. And what I told him is I said, hey, we're still, for the 0.5, we're still fixing some of the stuff. So I just want you to deal with the content, not with the other stuff, because we're working on that. And he was very respectful, and he enjoyed it an awful lot. He loved what was going on there. So that was really cool.
He's one of the first people to actually see them lined up together then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. He also said that actually India is an emergency market in comics, which is very true because me and you know Raheel Mohsin, and he's been blowing up in India.
He is big time. Can you imagine our names on books out in India?
That's going to be so cool. For those who don't know, Raheel Mohsin is the artist and co-creator of Cat Dad and Supermom.
Yep.
And Larry Patrick Higgins, LP in the house, he says. Brian says, hey, guys. And Max says, oh, thanks, Chuck.
Max is a cool dude. He's actually going to be doing he and I are now working together. So I'm trying to get one raw review out a week.
Yeah, you didn't put it on the site, by the way. I forgot to tell you that.
What's that?
Travis called this morning when we were having our meeting. I couldn't go over the fact that you never put that last raw review on our site.
You're right. I didn't. I was just so excited to have it done, but that I'll have that happen. Not a problem. But he's now hooking up with me, and we're gonna call his segment is gonna be called Chuck's Raw Reviews Max Edition.
Oh,
and
cool.
he'll be doing them as well. So it means we'll be dropping 2 videos a week, which is a lot more exciting now.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I look forward to it. So let's get back to the news. Let's talk about some more cool stuff.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So we got the Advocator there. Are we moving over to the news section, or do we have more stuff up here that we should talk about?
Well, let's just give a quick shout out because we know all the people who are lined up on these featured Kickstarters. Go ahead and do you want me to just read them quickly and do the announcer thing?
No, I can do it. Do it. That's fine. Now
All
on
right.
Kickstarter, we have Armor Eye numbers 1 through 4. That is through Evolution Publishing. We've got on Kickstarter. We've got Dog Days, guys. Your boy Chuck and is the editor of that with Travis Gibb having written it. It's an amazing book, and it's done in the next 3 days as well. It could use some help. It's close, but not close enough. Let's get that one over the edge. Come on. I'm excited to see on the video. I'm excited to see on the news next week when I do it. Congratulations to these teams. And I would really like that congratulations because we've been working our butts off, especially Trav. Another featured Kickstarter, Realm of Spirits #2, Blossom of the North Star. Now on Kickstarter, Hollow Testament, which we discussed already. A great crossover comic between Modern Testament and Hollow Girl. And then we have another featured Kickstarter, Tainted. And that's Dean Kish, right?
As I think he is super close to funding right now. Last time I checked, he'd made up a lot of ground, and he's been passionate. He stayed. I remember at one point he came to me. He was a little nervous because Kickstarters are legitimately harder now. And he's like, "What do you think I could do?" I gave him some pointers, and he really just went out there and took my advice and ran with it. And God bless him, man. He kept the passion, and it's turning around for him. So kudos to Dean Kish for showing that indie passion.
Oh, yeah. So I'm looking at this right now. Oh, I didn't know he was Canadian. All right. Much love, dude. He's at 94% funded with 5 days to go. So help him out, get him over the edge, but I'm not worried. It's going to happen.
Hell yeah. You see the news feeds up?
Okay, cool. Newsfeed. All right. So first we have the Dust County Chronicles. I've seen this one checking out. Your childhood is not for sale or is not safe.
Not safe. This guy does an amazing, twisted version of some stuff. I'll be doing a review in the next couple of days. I generally don't like the type of horror genre, but he nailed it. He really landed it well. Yes, sir.
And it looks really cool too, by the way. I'm trying to get the okay, there it is. I'm trying to get the news feed on my computer as well, just so it's a little easier to see. And then we have I cannot say that person's name. Ivo Gwen?
Guillaume. It's Guillaume.
Guillaume? Ivo Guillaume's dystopian graphic novel, A Reason to Be. What is that bad boy about? Can we look into that?
I'll call it up, give it a minute to load, keep talking, and we'll go look at it.
Cool. Yeah, all right. So in the meantime, while he's checking out, of course, Conceptual Heist Book 1 comes to an end today. Is that the Kickstarter that comes to an end or the actual book?
Well, I believe it is the first part of their series that they've had on Webtoons is actually ending.
Oh, cool.
So they're on Kickstarter as well with a Kickstarter right now, too. That we can
cool.
Talking about on Kickstarter talk this Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hear that, folks? And you're still trying to call that one up?
No, it's ready to go. I was going to tell you we're all ready to go. I just wanted to load up. So this is
okay, badass. Okay, okay, that was Charles Butler. I've seen him. His art is really cool. He does a lot of Universal monsters and stuff. His stuff is really badass. He's a very good artist. Okay, yeah, no, I can't see that at all.
Really knocking it out of the park today as I research mounted police riot control methods of Ivan Guano's Gauguin's maybe dystopian graphic novel, A Reason to Be. If you have a script you want to bring to life for the best prices on the planet, please contact me. And speaking of contacting people, we have some contact from the chat room. We have Paul S. Roof saying hello to all. Larry Patrick Higgins has given us some news as well. Larry says that, and we'll switch back over to here so you guys can see his creation. Larry is the creator of Niobe. Larry says that Larry is back with a brand new project for Kickstarter launch for February 14th as a star from Niobe 2 makes her debut. Avani, this savage, ruthless killer continues her onslaught, seeking revenge. Avani's origins, one less than a month away. And plus, find Niobe #1 with the Advocate. So, yep, Larry's a very passionate guy, very cool dude. All right, so back to the news feed. We have, of course, the Advocator, but check out what the next thing is. Kind of cool.
Another page of my OC, the Enemy. That's
this
is
guy.
that the one you were talking about?
Yeah, this guy's got some like cool, sick art going on. It's kind of like almost like a fusion between the original comic book pages that we used to see in the 1940s with like a modern feel to it. I want to call it up. It's actually, I know you're gonna dig it, knowing the way that you like art.
I love that you know me that well. I'll be honest. It was funny because Max went and he read a bunch of, or he watched a bunch of my videos, and when he did his, he was watching and he's like, "Look, you're gonna get different videos from me because I know that Chuck likes this, this, and this, and he doesn't like that, that, and that." And I'm like, "Shit, am I that transparent? All right, cool. I'm okay with that."
But at least you know there's a standard coming with you. But look at this art. I know that you'll like this.
I do like that. Holy crap!
Right?
And that is, I mean, it even has some of like a 70s feel to it too, with all the really dark inks and stuff.
Hell yeah, right?
That's badass. Good for you, Dan.
Yeah, man. And we have some more Starfall teasers.
Okay, yep. Starfall Saga. Who's behind that one? I know the name.
I'm gonna have to. I know so many people. We'll read this. We'll let that run. We'll read this row, and then we'll go to it.
Okay.
Go with the Advocator.
Sorry, which?
The Advocator backers just got a huge upgrade.
Oh. Isn't that the one we just talked about?
Well, I mean, it's part of the news. I'm just reading what's there.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to call that one up. And yeah, that's Larry Patrick Higgins. He made a deal with Rob Anderson of Indie Advocates to have, is it Niobe or Avani as a part of the Advocator?
Niobe #1 is going to be out. Any backer over the PDF level is going to get a free copy digitally of Niobe.
And I'm excited for that because I am a backer as well. I don't care the fact, like, the thing is, and what a lot of people don't understand is, yes, I get copies, but you know what we don't get as creators is I'm not going to get everybody else's books. So I jumped on right away for the Christmas edition so that I could get all of the covers, because I want all the covers. I would like to put them up on my wall and have them looking beautiful. I'd like to get the leaders of each one of those teams to sign their copy and stuff. Like I want to make that a big deal because I really believe that this is going to be something awesome.
Oh, I agree with you on that. And the Starfall is by Kostis Evagatias. I think that's my best. That's my best guess on that.
Yeah, so I know Kostis. He's actually from Greece, and he's a really amazing artist. So that's really cool.
And did you know about Dog Days?
I've heard a couple things. Yeah, no, this RPG is badass. I'm my background is in role playing. Wendy and I actually met on a online role playing site, and we created our own role playing game that ran for over 10 years. So to see Dog Days, something that I've worked on as an RPG, is so badass. And I've been telling all my role playing friends, guys, if this is something you like, fucking jump on and get it, because this is so badass.
Like, I knew you were a nerd, but I didn't know you were that much of a nerd.
I like to call myself a jack of all nerds. I'm not like super into anything, but I love a lot of stuff. So I'm not gonna sit there and tell you like stupid information about Star Wars, but I love it, and I love comics. I love movies. I'm an all around geek.
Now, speaking of Star Wars and all around geekery, Max says, not some Chuck I watched all of it. Oh, not some. He watched every video. He did training day to actually be able to do you.
He commented on a bunch of them, so I wasn't sure if he'd watch all of them. But that's pretty badass. And I mean, I have over 20 videos up there, so that was really cool. I mean, you think about it, each video is more than 10 minutes. So that was a lot of work. I really appreciate that kind of dedication. That was really cool.
The ones he didn't comment on are the ones he disagreed with you on. I'm just telling you so you know. And speaking of Star Wars, Larry says that he made a deal with the Emperor. He says, like Lando for him, Empire Strikes Back. Ha, 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 ha. And then Max says, what? Online role play game? Seriously?
Yep.
Yeah, seriously. Dog Days is now an RPG.
Yep. And it's going to be badass. And then, of course, we're going to move over and we're going to talk about Cornrows, which is on Kickstarter as well. It could use some help. It's a finished book. It looks really badass, and that's Brian Hawkins, who is a Dallas native. He's here in Texas as well, and this book looks really badass. There's been some cool buzz about it, but it could really use your help on Kickstarter because that one's having a rough go. I know it is badass.
Society?
Pardon me?
Have you heard of the Boston Metaphysical Society lately?
Oh my gosh, yeah. She has so much stuff coming out because they have a novel, and of course their Kickstarter launched just a couple days ago. Bam, they're funded, good for them, and they're just gonna. I think they're already into stretch goals and flying forward, so that's badass as hell. And Madeline Holly Rosing, she's an all-around amazing creator. She's done this. She's also done her Kickstarter guide, which has done really well on Amazon and stuff. So. Yeah, I mean, she's definitely someone to keep an eye on and watch moving forward.
And then watching, what was this Comics in the Classroom?
That was about an hour and a half or 2 hours of myself and Nicole Jobin from Comics in the Classroom, just discussing the importance of comics, both in my life, in her life, and in the use of education. That was a lot of fun. I like her a lot. She's a good lady, got a great family behind her. Me and her kids got to play around. I got to get them all hyped up and excited, like a good grandpa.
Let me ask you a serious question. How much did you mention the devil?
Dude, a lot, a fair amount. And I mean, and I know that because the thing about me is that like my origin story as far as comics is not as exciting as say someone like yourself, and so I more got to talk about myself as far as being a tool for someone like you to be able to tell your stories, and kind of as I basically said I appreciated the importance of being an editor and being able to help someone else show their voice in a way that would allow people to take them seriously. Because I mean the sad truth is if you weren't able to put yourself together the way that we're able to do that, people wouldn't take your stories seriously, and that would be a real miss. So my gift is not necessarily in my tale and how important it is for education, but more in how I'm able to help others get their voices out there. And so I really love being able to do that, and I love being able to talk about it. And of course, we're all going to be in a Comics in the Classroom panel in Orlando in May, which I'm excited as fuck about.
You know, it's funny. Here you're actually described as a tool.
I've gotten that an awful lot. What is this, high school again? Shit.
Now it's time to get tainted. 5 days left, $547 to go.
You had me at taint, but hell, let's keep going. Let's have the end of it. It's tainted with we spoke about it already. That's Dean Kish. He's moving forward, and actually it's even further along. Like I said, 94% backed when I checked just a second ago. So that one is going to happen. I have no doubt of that. So jump on there, check it out. And that's issue 1 of 5. So that's kind of cool because you know it's the start of something big and you know that it's going to end. So get on at the ground floor, people.
And now this heads up right here. This was the Boston Metaphysical Society that we were talking about. Let's call up that cover. If you guys haven't seen the cover, it's awesome. Seriously, I want to give you guys a look at it.
Yeah.
And Chuck's got to get going because he's got a busy night ahead of him.
Well, and so I have a couple minutes still, but Wendy did just mention it, and that was kind of cool, is that Boston Metaphysical Society is actually a featured Kickstarter right now.
Oh,
on the front page. So yeah, that's a big deal.
It's about time our own got picked.
I know, right? And I'm surprised because I've seen some comics that are, they're what is it, Kickstarters, comics, projects we love, and I've never seen Boston Metaphysical Society as that, and that surprises the shit out of me because it's an amazing book.
It really is. I mean, we've talked about this. We have no clue who picks these projects that they love. It seems like it's a popularity contest of people who know each other.
Yeah, because if it was actually a popularity contest, she would be in there. She has an amazing name. Her work speaks for itself, and her depth of work and the breadth of that series. I mean, this is the third book that she's put out as far as graphic novels are concerned for it. Plus, she has an actual novel out for it. So, I mean, it deserves to have that title. The fact that it hasn't, it's a little silly, makes me wonder, are they only allowed to have so many at a time or what? I really don't know.
I personally just someone they hire someone who thinks that they know indie comics, and some of the books are really good that they do. You can't knock it, but we've definitely seen books that we both think should have gotten the love.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. And yeah, no, totally. And I mean, I know that they have their things that they're looking for, but I also know that most of us now, we have a good idea of what that is, and especially someone like Madeline, she has put in that work on her page to make it look the way they want it to. So she jumps through those hoops. The fact that it's not a project we love, well, you know what? Fuck it. It's a project I love. So that's, you get a little Chuck stamp of approval on that bad boy.
Next thing, I don't know how you got into comics.
You don't know how I got into comics?
Or me, but me's a long story for a different day. But go ahead, tell them how you got into comics as I try to force this to load.
Yeah, okay. I mean, my story, I've loved comics since I was a kid, and basically what happened was, I've written for as long as I can remember. Always wanted to be a writer and whatnot. And just a couple years ago, like literally about 3 years ago, my cable man came in. He saw my art on the wall, saw like comic book art on my wall, and he was like, "Man, I've got this book that I'm trying to get together," and so he brought me on as the writer of that book, and we wrote it. It finished. It did well on Kickstarter, and then financial issues hit, and it was really rough. And so we're still trying to get that book out. But in the meantime, I'd already caught the bug, and part of my origin story as a comic creator is that I met Mr. Anderson online while trying to talk about that book, and really was getting excited with, at the time, Written Sins, which is now Our Indie Advocates. And he sent out something that said, "Hey guys, I'm looking for an editor. I'm looking for someone to come in at the ground floor and really show me what's going, help me out." And I jumped on that opportunity, and I rode that motherfucker all the way. I edited that book, which was the first Monsters book, and then I just kept going and going and going, and now I have dozens. I don't even know how many books with my name on it, and it's still piling up and happening, and I'm just riding that train and loving it. So that is my little origin story of comics.
Very good. There's that cover for the Boston Metaphysical Society.
Beautiful. And I mean, for people who don't know about Boston Metaphysical Society, what it is, it's basically an American steampunk tale. And it has a lot of those early guys like Tesla and Edison and all that kind of stuff going on. Very badass. She uses a really great mixture of history and fantasy to create a really wonderful landscape. So it's just an amazing thing to check out.
And I love it. Check out her video. It's just top notch.
Hi, everyone. My name is Madeline Holly Rosen, and I'm the writer-creator of the steampunk supernatural series, Boston Metaphysical Society. Welcome to our Kickstarter to print our brand new standalone book, The Spirit of Rebellion, a Caitlin O'Sullivan story. If you're not familiar with the original series, it's about an ex-Pinkerton detective, a spirit photographer, and a genius scientist who battles supernatural forces in late 1800s Boston. In our new story, Caitlin is thrown out of the house by her mother. She goes to Samuel for help, and he takes her to Philadelphia to the boarding house of an old friend. And there she discovers a ghost, a rebellion, and perhaps her destiny. Now, the story itself is 34 pages long in a 44-page perfect bound book, which means lots of extras for you. And I'm happy to say that Gwen Tavares is back on board doing the art and coloring. And even better, the book will be ready to go to the printer by the end of the campaign. And if you're new to the Boston Metaphysical Universe, the original trade paperback and our previous standalone story, The Scourge of the Mechanical Man, will be available as well. So please take a look at the reward tiers on our Kickstarter homepage and pledge today. And thank you in advance for your support.
I love that energy that comes off of her.
Yeah, Wendy and I were both just saying she has a beautiful voice too. Which
around her. Another wonderful person. Travis Gibb has got. We should take a look at that real quick. That Dog Days thing.
We should. I've heard a little bit about it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the piano music in the video. But like, if you can put the piano music aside, it's a really cool. I think he should have gone with, like, you know, those old like detective movies have that like jazz beat to it.
Yeah, right. The 1920s jazz music in the background. Well, I mean, but you got to know Travis, and Travis is a big. I mean, he just came back from Rent last night, so I'm sure he was all into his musicals, and he's like, "All right, dearies, I have the perfect music for this."
Welcome to the Dog Days Kickstarter, a crime noir tale that follows a pair of canine detectives embroiled in a cult attempt to murder and skin its citizen. Meet Barnabas, brand new on the job, willing to help, and a crime too big and too sinister for him to handle. Meet Wolf, a hard-beat detective who's been on the job for a long time, not excited about Barnabas on the case, and she has her own problems with the litter of pups on the way. Animals being skinned alive, taken somewhere sinister, as we explore into the dark noir world of Dog Days. With Dog Days, we have some amazing pledge levels that we want to get you connected to. Here's just a few. For just $10, you can get the digital PDF of Dog Days. Just $20, you can get the graphic novel in print, all 120 pages shipped to you. For those who love the bad guys, we have an exclusive Kickstarter cover called the Butcher Edition. If you want to be in Dog Days, now is your chance. Have a cameo in Dog Days as your favorite pet or as yourself, as whatever animal you want. Hurry now, pledge today, before it's too late.
I'm telling you, that jazz music would have been so much better. But that's an awesome project.
Yeah. Yeah, I've really enjoyed, and I mean, I think the funny thing for both of us was that this is not necessarily the kind of thing that we would do, as far as like it's sort of like it's a furry tale. It's a anthropomorphic animals, and that's not normally something that either of us would go to. But the actual like that's just a vehicle for a story that he and I are both very passionate about, very excited about. It's got a very meta feel to it. It's also got that dark noir detective story tale going on. There's just a lot to it. And yes, okay, tail pun. But there's a lot going on in there. Love that book. I'm so proud of what we're doing and of what we're going to bring out for you guys. I think you guys are going to love it.
And Madeline Holly Rising has actually showed up in our watch party, I think. She missed us talking so nicely about her.
We did. We were both talking about how amazing the series is, the book looks, everything. Very excited. Madeline, keep up the good work, hon. You're killing it. We're all so proud of what you're doing, and we love seeing what you're making happen.
No, and the show give us a way to follow you, how they can follow you, and we'll play the Advocator on the way out.
Sorry, they want to follow me?
How do they follow you? For those who, you're on my feed now as well, so you might actually be talking to people that you've never interacted with before. for.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. For sure. Well, you can find me as Chuck PINEAU on Facebook, PINEAU, and you will know me right away. You'll see all my stuff on my header and whatnot. Then, of course, you can follow my my publishing wing, which is known as that's my image right there. You can follow my publishing wing, which is Bonfire Press, www.facebook.com/Bonfire Press. And of course, you can find me on Twitter at Chucky Pin.
Yeah, says he should have went with music of the old PI shows. That would have been great for Dog Days. I agree. Madden said, "Sorry, I missed it." That's okay. You can watch it in reruns.
Yeah. Or next week when we talk about it again.
Yeah, we'll be talking about it continuously. But I know Chuck's got to go, so we're not going to hold him up anymore, and we're just going to play the Avocator video and call it a good night. Make sure you guys are back in the Avocator. It's an amazing project that is bringing indie creators together. Chuck, give him the sign off, and we'll start the video.
Guys, thank you so much for coming out to the news today. I am Chuck PINEAU. This is my dude, Rob Anderson. And as always, when you're with me, peace, love, and comics. Hit it up.
The Avocator presents this week's featured story, Grimwood Crossings. Grimwood Crossings follows monster hunters in the Wild West. In this short story, they hunt down the ghost of a witch that has been haunting the trail into the town. Also featured in the Winter Avocator is Welcome to the Void .5, not broke down yet, Mary Revised, Modern Testament's new reimagined take on Noah and his Ark, Grimwood's Crossing Short, which we just mentioned, and Binary Stars Intergalactic Bar Fight. We appreciate you guys supporting us and want you to know what the Avocator is all about. The Avocator Presents is a collection of short stories from indie creators who have their own pre-established franchises now offering continued short stories of the characters that you'll fall in love with and may even get some insight to these characters. So some of our creators featured in this volume that you're already a fan of, you get a new short story that you have never seen before. The Avocator Presents is a new way to advocate for creators and their creations by allowing and challenging them to create new stories within their worlds and then advocate for each other on the Comic-Con highway. A great benefit of this project is that all creators are all equal in this project, and all creators will get an even share of the printed books. No one creator shall profit over the other creators outside the hustle of sales at their tables on the Comic-Con highway.